Welcome to the Onyx and Breezy Foundation's 5th annual gala. I am Dr. Kathleen Hefner, and I am delighted to present this video showing a few of the many wonderful organizations and individuals the foundation has funded this past year. It is only because of your generous donations that any of this was possible. The Ginny Fund is an impressive organization that has been helping feral cats for over 20 years. The Onyx and Breezy Foundation was happy to help fund this worthy cause.
The Ginny Fund was initially started by Philip Gonzalez, who adopted a dog at the local shelter, and we named the dog Ginny. And Philip would take Ginny on walks, find cats in distress.
The second night that I started walking Ginny, I was walking and she saw this cat in this field, and the cat sees her, and the cat starts running towards her. She could sense their fear, their injuries or something like that. She would go find them, and they would walk right up to her. They knew she was going to help them.
Our main goal here is to spay and neuter and vaccinate. We do not want to increase the population. There are plenty of unwanted animals. We are trying to keep the numbers down. We at the Ginny Fund on a daily basis get up in the middle of the night. We load the car up and we just start feeding these 21 colonies. There's a certain order in which we feed them. It takes anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. If it's snowing, we just get out there and shovel. We go 2 to 3 times a week to load the car up with food. We make several trips to the vet's office to pick up food, to pick up medication, to drop the animals off. It's a 24/7 situation, all keeping the animal in mind. That's all we care about.
It helps the community because there's less cats. There's no smell of cat urine, because once a cat is spayed or neutered, what happens is they don't spray anymore. They don't mark their territories, which is great. If I don't do this, what happens is they keep on having babies and more babies and babies, compounding it. And what happens is they'll pick them up and they'll euthanize them because there's nothing they can do for them. They can't take them indoors. And the cats are going to be feral cats. They're not going to be friendly towards people. So the best thing to do is to spay and neuter. This way it keeps the population down. The cats are healthier.
The funding from for the Ginny Fund comes only from donations. Everything that's raised by the Ginny Fund all goes to the animals. Whether it be food or vet care, it goes all to the animals. We now have 21 colonies outside, approximately 225 cats, and that's our daily feed. And as the numbers increase, so did the medical and the food needs.
On any given day, I could use maybe 4 cases of food. I use about 40 pounds of dry food every day. And it costs anywhere from about maybe about $160 a day.
I reached out to the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, and fortunately they reached out and they gave me financial support. It went to the veterinarian's office, which is helping us with spay, neuter, and vaccinating. The Onyx and Breezy Foundation has made it possible for the Ginny Fund to continue. They have cleared up my veterinarian bill. I can now bring in more animals for care, and I am so grateful.
It's gone to help a lot of cats which needed a lot of medical help, and I thank them a lot from the bottom of my heart. It's a great organization.
Once again, the Onyx and Breezy Foundation has reached out to help many individuals with animals in need. Without our help, most of these animals would have been euthanized, but because of your help, they are alive today. This is the story of one.
This is my cat Mischief. He's about 4 years old. He's a rescue from an animal hoarding situation, and he's actually had a really bad last 4 months. He became blocked, so he couldn't urinate, which is very dangerous for cats. They can die within 48 to 72 hours. You know he's in pain, and you can't help him. It was awful. And we had him catheterized about 3 times before it was finally decided that he had to have surgery because he did have the blockage and there was nothing else that could be done for him. It's a very specialized surgery, very delicate surgery, that he had to go to a specialist. So I then inquired with a couple of emergency animal hospitals who do the surgery, and they had turned me down, saying that you have to pay them up front, and I didn't have the money up front. I was laid off from my marketing job back in February, and I do have other animals as well, and a mortgage. So of course, with the way the economy is going right now, having him catheterized, we probably spent close to, actually it was a little over $5,000 at that point. The stress of that was just awful. It's, you're trying to, help him to feel better, and at the same time trying to figure out how am I going to pay for this. I mean, I work in animal rescue also, and I hear people putting their pets to sleep, and I'm like, just because they don't have the money, and I'm like, I can't do that. It's my baby. If he had the surgery, he would be perfectly normal afterwards. So I went back to Dr. Hefner, and after discussing Mischief's options, and she had mentioned to me that she is the medical director on the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, as well as an executive board member, and she had suggested applying to them to see if Onyx and Breezy could help us out with Mischief. At that point, we knew he didn't have much time. The surgery had to be done pretty much immediately. When Dr. Hefner mentioned to fill out the application, it was basically hoping and praying that they would say yes. Thankfully, within a day or two, the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, they got back to me. They understood how urgent the situation was, and they got me in to see Dr. Hunt. He performed the surgery the next day, and then the following day, Mischief was able to come home. So as soon as we took him home, he came out of his crate. The first thing he did was he came right up to me and just like nuzzled up against me. And it was then like I really realized, oh my gosh, how much pain he really was in and what he went through. Now he's perfectly fine, perfectly healthy, living up to his name of Mischief. Knowing that there's a foundation out there like the Onyx and Breezy Foundation, just know there are people who are willing to help. I mean, you hear all these cases where nobody wants to help you, and then you have this group who's willing to step in, help you take care of your animal and get them back on the road to recovery. It's just an amazing thing, just knowing that there are people willing to help. If the Onyx and Breezy Foundation hadn't stepped in when they did, Mischief wouldn't be sitting on my lap right now, and we are just forever grateful.
Pet Rescue is a wonderful organization that fosters animals, assists in disaster relief, takes in handicapped and special needs animals, helps rehabilitate puppy mill rescues, and treats all of these animals medically before finding each and every one of them forever loving homes.
I run an organization called Pet Rescue, and what we do is we rescue and rehabilitate unwanted animals, many handicapped and elderly pets, and rehome them. Puppy mills are a place where many dogs are kept in horrible conditions, caged, normally never touched, and they just breed and breed and breed. And their puppies are taken away from them, most of the time too young, and basically that is what people purchase in pet stores. When female dogs can no longer be bred, a lot of them unfortunately get thrown out in the garbage, literally. They get suffocated, they drown them, they shoot them. They don't have a dignified death for sure. Basically, when you first remove a dog from a puppy mill, they're feral because they've never been touched. I would say 9 out of 10 times they cower, they're scared, they bite. They've never had human contact. So it's a lot of patience and rehabilitative work. Puppy mill survivors, once given the proper medical attention and rehabilitation time, can and usually do become wonderful, loving pets and are finally permitted to live a fulfilled life.
And this is the happy ending to the puppy mill stories. This little guy, he was 10 years in a puppy mill. Usually they are drowned, and luckily he was pulled out in time. At 10, he was very quiet and shy, not touched much, but now he's a very healthy and beautiful 17-year-old dog. Not a lot of teeth, but a lot of happiness.
I happen to do disaster relief and search and rescue. During hurricane season, shelters become extremely overcrowded. And again, what people don't understand, the animals that there are already are the ones who are put to sleep to make space for the evacuated animals. When I returned home after Hurricane Gustav from Louisiana, I had quite a few animals who were very sick and they needed expensive veterinary care, which they received. Financially, it can be a huge burden because they usually require special diets and they need to be fed and they need to be medicated, and it gets to be quite a lot of money. Pet Rescue is a few of us who are all volunteers, dedicated and passionate to the safety and the well-being of animals, and we run strictly on donations. I accrued over $20,000 in veterinary bills. I ended up having to cash in my 401k, and I still owed a lot of money. Problem being, when you owe so much to a vet, they will not allow you to bring any animals in until you get your bill paid off. After accruing such large veterinary bills, I reached out to the Onyx and Breezy Foundation. Onyx and Breezy allowed us to bring up 30 dogs from a rundown, overcrowded shelter in Louisiana. Once the animals were brought up from Louisiana, a few of them were heartworm positive, which is very common down south. And it's an expensive, long, drawn-out treatment, which Onyx and Breezy has also stepped in and decided to pay for as well. And they not only stepped up to the plate, they made it possible for me to have a zero balance, which was the first time ever in 20 years, and afforded me to be able to help many others since.
Onyx and Breezy, in short, has literally saved us. I just don't know how long we could have gone on without their help. They are an amazing foundation. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and we are so forever grateful.
I want to thank the Onyx and Breezy Foundation for everything that they've done for the animal community. Without them and their generosity and their support, many animals would not be alive today, and because of them, many more will be saved tomorrow.
On our 5th anniversary milestone, it gives us great joy to reflect back and look at the tens of thousands of animals we have helped in so many ways. Your dollars have helped fund spay and neuter programs, medical equipment, life-threatening surgeries, no-kill shelters, fosters, sanctuaries, assisting disaster relief animals, puppy mill rehab, food and supply programs, countless individuals with hardships for their pets, and numerous other circumstances which arise that benefit the welfare of animals, which indeed is what the Onyx and Breezy Foundation is all about. As a veterinarian, I am so proud to be a part of all of this. But in order to continue this valuable work, we rely on you. Every dollar counts. Without your generous support, we would not have been able to continue our diversified work helping animals. Please give with your heart and remember the joy they bring.